Spread the love. Spread the love.
Hello, everyone. It's Lady B Queen, and welcome back to Rise Above Podcast, where we share with you insight, inspiration, and educate you on the pros and cons to the journey of going after your dreams. And today we have two special guests, Gerard and Christabella, who is going to share a lot of good stuff with us, you guys. So let's hear what they have to say. Gerard?
Yes.
Would you like to introduce yourself as to where you're from, what it is that you do?
Okay.
Real quick. By the way, you guys, this is a show where entrepreneurs come on here and they share about their journey to inspire other entrepreneurs. So I hope you are inspired.
Okay. First, good evening. My name is Gerard Harris. I'm actually originally from New York City. I came down to Florida in August of 2002. And my life actually, I was in the process of repairing my life after going through the whole 9/11 situation. At that point in my life, to be honest, I had no desire for life. In 2002, August of 2002, I was what they called, I was in the gray zone. But being the person that I am, I couldn't stay in the gray zone because then I couldn't appreciate life. You know, I had no desire for life, but yet life was knocking on my door. So I had to go through a few things. And then what actually got me where I'm at and into what I do today is because of what I was afflicted with. I went through what I went through to get back into self. And then once I got through, I started seeing that my life really depended more on me assisting others more so than helping myself. The more I help is the more I grow. And not being selfish with life itself. Like if I appreciate life, then I have to give appreciation out. And that's just basically how I continue. And I built a business off of that. I built the business off of inspiring others, helping others, doing things what they normally, mother, fathers, brothers, sisters, cousins, uncles would normally do with them, I did with them. Countless of hours, rest, losing sleep, losing, you name it. I went through the trenches with total strangers. They came as guests and they ended up as friends and family. And it's to the day, I learned how to go through this journey. I built relationships with anybody that I come in contact with. And I started formulating different businesses off of one business. I started giving out more so like safe havens and structured environments where these people, and let me just say this, is that I couldn't do what I did or do because of just having a place to house people or stuff like that. I had to make the environment conducive for their dwelling. I had to have the atmosphere have to be of a healthy atmosphere so that I could pour life into anybody that was sent to me. And I remember starting out and I said, well, everything that I acquire, I'm going to give back to who gave it to me. And people was looking at me like I was crazy. So when I remember getting the first house that I had, I dedicated the house back to God. It don't belong to me. It belonged to him. And I asked at that time that anybody that he sends in my direction, allow me to be able to pour into them as you pour into me. And I stand to that same quote today, is that the more is poured into me, I believe that is an obligation for me to pour into other people's lives.
And would you say that's a big part as to why you're successful in that business?
It helped me. It helped me to not take for granted some of the things that normally you would take for granted in life. It helped me to appreciate life on a day-to-day basis, but also it helps me to be able to be involved in people's lives. Because see, everybody can't interact with certain people. I interact with the forgotten, should I say. And I really believe that it enhances my life, and the more my life is enhanced, I'm able to enhance somebody else's life.
I'm a firm believer in giving back and being able to be of service to others. I honestly feel like that's where success lies, you know? So yeah, definitely. Thank you for sharing that with us. And Miss Crystal Bella. So Crystal, tell us about your story. So first of all, I'm sorry. I'm inspired by both of your guys' stories, right? I'm inspired by yours truly. You know, you worked for the state attorney's office, for the courthouse for 17 years, girl.
17 years, yes.
17 years.
Yeah.
And you took a leap of faith and decided to quit your job and become a full-time entrepreneur.
Yes, I did.
Girl,
I did.
that's what's up.
Wonderful.
So tell us about you and what it is that you do.
Well, my name is Crystal Bella. I'm 35. I have two beautiful children, Damari and Amani. Born and raised here in Palm Beach, from Florida originally. I'm a Floridian.
Okay.
Rare, but yeah.
Yes,
Very rare.
I love it here. Never going to. Well, I won't say never, but I love it here. I graduated from Palm Beach Lakes in 2002. Went to college, got a degree in psychology. I wanted to be a marriage and family therapist. So I don't know how I ended up really doing law enforcement and county government for 17 years, but my mom had me volunteering. Of course, you had to get those volunteer hours. My mom had me volunteering at the courthouse. I liked it there and graduated from high school. I stayed. I applied for a full-time position, and I worked in one department for 11 years. And during that time, I received my bachelor's degree in psychology, and I wanted to just utilize that more instead of just push paperwork all day. So I ended up getting a job with the state attorney, rolled everything over there, worked there for 6 years, and I retired August 30th of this year. And outside of that, or as far as being a full-time entrepreneur, I'm a health and wellness coach. And my LLC, I do have an LLC, Crystal Bella LLC, and it's basically just products and services. So I'm a promoter. If you need me to promote an event for you, show up, whatever, I'll do that. I won Miss Palm Beach 2019 this year, February. Yep. I hustled my way. I'm a Leo, so
yeah, you're gonna get it done.
Exactly. And just network marketing. I love marketing. I love people. I love meeting people, new people, and going into real estate investing.
Yes.
Working on that right now, behind the scenes.
Grant Cardone is your guy to follow.
Grant Cardone. Yes.
Same here.
Yes.
That's my father from another.
Yes.
Yeah. Shout out to my cousins Antoine and LaShawn Campbell. They're in Maryland, and they actually kind of got me going with this. So and Maxwell. So shout out to all of them. Thank you, everybody that's watching as well. But I'm here. I'm me. I'm excited.
So you mentioned network marketing.
Yes.
Would you both say that your businesses revolve around network marketing?
Absolutely.
Yes.
I love network marketing.
Can I would like to interject. I believe like the things that I do, I think it was you that introduced me into Grant Cardone, and just following him on his live broadcasts and his live seminars that he does, it opened my eyes to a whole different approach into marketing and branding, because he does a lot of branding, he does a lot of marketing, and branding is on everything you do. You could go to the supermarket and you could brand. You could be in the supermarket shopping for a loaf of bread and you marketing yourself. And I'm big on that. I'm big on like the code of ethics. I'm big on integrity. I'm big on allowing your mouth to match your feet wherever you go, because there's a lot of times that your name will go places that your feet won't touch. So, but while you there touching stuff, you should be able to be of inspiration wherever you at or whatever you're doing. Do you have negative remarks and negative comments come about you? I think it's part of being a human.
Right.
It's a part, my daddy used to tell me you don't please everybody. And the ones that you can't please, you still pleasing them. That's why they talking about you.
Right. Jay-Z says, you are, what does he say? He say, you don't have a business. You are the business.
You are the business.
So meaning that you are a walking brand. Whatever your name is attached to, like you just said, you have to hold that with integrity.
Absolutely.
You have to know if your name is on that, it stands for you. What do you represent, So definitely. So, you guys, we want to talk about the pros and cons to being an entrepreneur or just someone who's going after their dreams, right? Like, what does that look like? What does it take? What kind of mindset? And we're going to get into all of that, right? Okay. So first I would like to talk about, relationships.
Wow. Time for me to go now.
I think one of the difficult parts of being an entrepreneur is finding a partner who is compatible, who can support you, who can really team up with you, because it would have to take a team effort, right? To make it happen. So what's your guys' take on that?
Well, I am, just my personal story, I have been divorced for about 2 years now. And my ex, I really don't think, he's work mentality. So I honestly feel like, I don't think he understood, entrepreneurship or what all it took or it takes to, be out there. Like, I wasn't home a lot, because I'm out networking, I'm delivering, I'm doing this, doing that. Because I had a clothing line. I was doing a lot of other things, as well. So, and the money that it requires as well, that's part of your income that has to also go out. You have to invest in your business.
Right.
And there was a lot that I feel like he didn't understand. I've been, the first company I joined, I was 21. So I've been doing this for quite some time. The Mary Kay, the Avon, the Amway, I did it. And so, fast forward to now, my mindset changed to, okay, if I'm going to date, which I am, but if I'm going to date.
My past trainer, by the way, shout out to Cedric.
I am dating, but it's so much better now. Like, you either need to be single for a while until you figure it out, or if you do choose to date someone who's like-minded and who understands what it is that you do and what you have to do in order to, get stuff done. I don't know if I can curse on it, but get shit done. But so I'm thankful now, that I have somebody in my life who understands. Like, he even told me, he was like, when you go from working a desk job to being out here full time, you're gonna be tired, because I'm the type, like, I like to go out, I like to turn up, I like to, he's like, you're gonna be tired, you're not even gonna want to do that stuff, and he's right. I'm like, I just want to go home and go to bed. Like, today I did absolutely nothing except I just delivered a few teas. Like, I was exhausted from just making moves yesterday. So you have to, if you're going to date, it's very important to be with someone who, even if they're not doing what you're doing, or even if they can't be there all the time, it's important for them to understand what it is that you're doing.
I would say so. And just on the outside, because we met, because I used to have a dance studio. You used to come to my dance studio. And just on the outside looking in, what I would say is, after your divorce, I just seen you go full force.
I know. Yeah, that's right. You were around during that time. Yes. Yeah. That's right. You're right.
Wow.
It pushed me.
Well, my time. Well, I am newly divorced, freshly divorced, and I'm at the process. A part of my life really is that I'm enjoying the me time. I'm appreciating the rebranding. I'm rebranding myself. Because I came out of a marriage. I was married for 9 years, And my wife that I was married to, we did everything together. We built businesses together. We do, I was the Batman, she was the Robin, or I was
so
the
you
Robin.
guys were the opposite of what she
we
had
was
right.
Mike and Ike.
Right.
But what happened, I think, in that relationship is that we actually grew apart. Instead of, because I remember times when they, it used to be the encouraging part, and it was following. So I'm big on like the man is the vision, or even if the woman has the vision, but the man is the lead.
Right.
The man is the lead because especially if he's submitting correctly, he's the lead. But we ran into a part where we grew apart. The bottom line is, and things went on. Things started getting sour, and it wasn't, it was that story like how you say you're coming home from 14 hours of working and working in your businesses, but you drive around the block 3 times before you pull in your yard. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. And it got old. It got old. It got stressful. My health started deteriorating. I started not really appreciating even going home. And it just came a time where we went our ways. And going through the divorce, I think, was a life-changing situation to the point I even had like one of those epiphany moments where that I was willing to step away from everything. I didn't want nothing from the divorce. I didn't want you to say, well, I held on to this and that's why you are where you are. No, you could have all of that. And because, see, I thank God for my mother. My mother gave me such an inspiration and such a zest in life. Watching her go through, like my mother used to work for Federal Reserve Bank in Manhattan on Wall Street. And I used to have to go down after school. I couldn't go and hang out with my boys. I used to have to go down to Wall Street, wait for my mother to get off of work and hang out in the bank all day. And then I'll come back on the train with her, ride all the way uptown. So I learned banking at an early age. I learned how like the money really moves, not how you think it moves. It doesn't move in your pocket.
Right.
It doesn't move because you got, a couple of stacks here and there. It's how you move it.
Right. And
you work your money. Don't let your money work you.
Right.
But I had to step out and like right now I'm rebranding myself from coming from the marriage aspects and the businesses separated and the assassination of characters. Oh no, you name it. A scorned woman does things, but and I'm gonna tell you why I'm getting here. That going through what I went through, I couldn't, even though I looked for ways to be nasty and bitter, I couldn't find nothing. I couldn't find a way how to be nasty because God says, don't give evil with evil. Don't get nasty with nasty. You stay firm to thus say the Lord. You stay firm to my promises. Right. And I stay firm. And then the epiphany moment I had is when the judge was separating the stuff. I said, excuse me, Your Honor, you might think I'm crazy right now, but this is how I want. I don't want nothing. Give it to her. She said, you sure? I said, I don't want nothing. I don't want nothing. And it showed me just as clear as day that if I held on to a pinky, I will be blocking my blessings. And it's similar to like, we hear the story all the time about how, those of you believe and those of you don't, even if you don't believe, you hear the story how Jesus on the cross and he looked up at his father and he said, Father, Father, why have you forsaken me? It was the simple fact is that God could not be associated with any sin. He can't be associated with darkness. He can't be associated with anything ungodly. Because if he did, he would be just as corrupt as the evilness. So God says, do not attach yourself. He said, detach yourself and watch me. And I say this all to say the fact is that you could go back into my old, like the lady that called me before we even started, she was calling me about childhood friends. I had always been known as the type that I could step on dog doodle and turn it into a business. Man, listen, when I used to use drugs, I had one time, came up with the idea that I could take women tampons because they had the rubber and the sticky part. I used to put those on my feet. Like if I used your bathroom and I'd go me some tampons. I believed in my mind is that I could market these to have foot cushions on the low. Like I said, I could brand these. I could have the low cushions. I was entrepreneuring even under the influence. Right. I was thinking of ways to come up with a business off of tampons. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like for real.
I believe if it's in you, it's in you.
Yeah.
That's just to say like how millionaires go broke and they come back time and time again.
Come back harder.
If it's in you, it's in you. It you know, you take losses. You know, that's part of the journey. But I don't regret it. You know, it's in you. So as long you're the prize. So as long as it's in you, you'll keep going. Right? Yeah. So.
But relationships, you I didn't touch on that. I'm a firm believer. I hear what the sister said. You have to get like-minded person. Like if you don't find a like-minded person, you'd be better off being in a relationship with self.
Right.
Before you could be in a relationship with.
Well, that's where I'm at.
Yeah, it's really more healthy, and I think it's a mind changer. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It keeps you focused on you.
Right.
Because once again, you said you are your business.
Right.
It keeps you focused on that. It keeps you pushing forward.
Right.
Because you could get the wrong partner and they'll wipe your whole vision
If
out.
it doesn't complement that, it's going to be a distraction.
It'd be distraction.
It's going to be distracted. So yeah, definitely. I totally get it. To me, it has to be a like-minded individual. And when you say like-minded, you have to really be mindful of what that like-minded is to you, right?
Yeah.
I think people tends to get in relationships and really try to make it about the relationship. They get lost in making it about the other individual versus themselves, right? And then they get caught up in, oh, what happened? Well, you never made it about yourself. So you got lost in the midst of what you were looking for. So knowing what it is that you want in a relationship and making it about you to find that like-minded individual to complement that, I feel like is key. And until then, you should be okay.
It's a scary world out there, man. I mean,
that person should really, you both should be pushing and motivating.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, especially if you have an understanding of the type of business that your partner has. Try to learn ways, which I'm learning, dating a full-time entrepreneur. This is a first for me. So, you have to learn how
cross-branding
to,
whatever that is.
Cross-branding. Yes. Because we get each other, so he helps me, he sells tea to his clients, and I get him clients and he give me tea.
Exactly.
Exactly. And it works great.
It works, right?
But you have to know how to motivate that person. What motivates that person? Whether it's just simple words of affirmation or encouragement or whatever.
Get creative.
Being present is extremely. That's like my business love language. Being there.
Right.
In
Showing
physical
up.
form.
Showing up. Right.
Come with me.
Right.
Sometimes I tell them to come with me. I'm sad, but I have events every weekend almost. So I'm being there is extremely important to me.
Let me ask you. It's funny you saying that. Suppose you're not I have different people that's in my life, that male or female, and some of the ladies that's in my life is like friends, 100%. And I was telling a guy the other day is that if I ever cross that threshold, because it's like a spoon of thread. If you ever cross that spoon of thread and took the friendship and tried to make it into an intimate relationship, you lose the value of what that friendship is all about. And to be able to be a man, and especially in this day and time, and have a friend of the opposite sex, and that's solely friendship, it's more enhancing. I get more out of it than trying to debate somebody. I don't know, maybe because I did that, been there, done that before. I get more out of being a friend than I would, turning it into an old booty call. Because if I did a booty call, oh man, I'm gonna have regrets. I'm gonna be like, oh, now what I'm gonna do? And I remember before I had a friend. Actually, she's still my friend, and she lived in New York. And I remember telling her once, I said, if I ever went to bed with you, I said, one of us had to go. She said, what are you talking about? I said, I know too much about you. I would have to kill you. You know what I'm saying? You are dirty, dirty. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You have to go. Yeah. Because I know you. You know what I'm saying? I've been, we went through elementary, junior high. I I know you.
Right.
You have to go. Please. She said, boy, please.
So, Crystal, you know, that was a big decision that you made.
Yeah.
I'm big on making decisions, right? I feel like making decisions is what pushes you forward. I really feel like people who are not quick, you know, and to each his own, you know what I mean? Yeah. But decision making, I know is, for me anyway, is a big factor to moving forward, right? So you quitting your job, being a single mother, but yet, you know, it does take a village to raise kids, right? So I know you have support, right? Yeah. But how was it for you to make that big decision of just quitting your job after 17 years and to say that you want to become a full-time entrepreneur?
Scary. Mm-hmm. Like that was scary.
Because I'm sure
I didn't sleep good. You know, when and I was in Maryland too in July when I always said I'm gonna do this. I always like we talked about mindset. My mind was there. It was just a matter of when. And I literally bargained with myself. I was like, okay, well, if I do it this month, then you know, maybe I shouldn't do it this month. And you know, I really cared about my job. I didn't have a job that I hated. You know, I loved what I did. Right. So I didn't leave on bad terms. I didn't leave because I felt the way about the job. My bosses, my staff, I supervised, you know, staff for 20. And, you know, everything that I did, every aspect of the job was extremely rewarding for me. So I cried. I cried like a baby. It was tough. It's like breaking up with like you said, 20 years, however many years you're with one person. It's just like that. I've been working actually since I was 14 years old. Yeah. You know, so going from that, it's like that long-term relationship and breaking up with it, literally corporate America, was extremely scary. You know, it's exciting. I was nervous, but at the end of the day, I had to think about me and what I want, and I know that really I made it my only decision. I wasn't like, oh, I'll just maybe quit here and get a part-time job. No, I'm done with it. You know, and I'm gonna move forward.
Awesome. So, you know, and what do you feel like keeps you grounded to stick with that decision, right? Because some people might find it to where like, okay, I made that decision, but that probably wasn't the best decision. Let me you know, go back. And so what keeps you grounded to say that, okay, this, like you just said, I made it. I didn't give myself any other options. Right. And I know it's still fresh for you. Yeah. So do you feel like you see yourself sticking with it? Like you're not going to second guess it? You know? Yeah, I'm definitely going to stick with this.
Mindset, there are so many ways, so many avenues where you can make money.
There is.
Like a million ways you can make money and probably make more than what I was on a salary job, so it didn't matter how many hours I put in. I got that same paycheck every month, and I said, I wonder if I was to trade this time for dollars. Like I wanted to see what I can do as far as like paying myself. Right. You know, how much money can I make for myself if I was to trade in these 8 hours, 9, 10 hours, weekends, included. Right. You know, what do I have to do? And I sat down and I definitely prayed about it and, you know, wrote a vision and I said it has to happen. But, you know, as far as what keeps me going, you know, definitely my children, you know, they need a home and food and clothes and, you know, haircuts and whatever. You know, so definitely my children, you know, my support system, they, you know, help me out to make things a lot easier for me as well. And money. Keeps me motivated. You know, I know, you know, the Bible says the love of money is the root of all evil, but you can like money. Like, it's okay. It makes the world go round, you know, and, you know, and I don't say that from a materialistic aspect. It's just, you know, just to be able to, what we were saying earlier, just to be able to pay my rent. And pay my car note and whatever. That's rewarding.
They say the root the love of money.
Yeah.
How do they say it?
Love of money is the root of
All evil, right? But to me, I say that,
You can have a relationship with it.
money just makes you more of who you really are.
Yeah.
So you guys, we're going to go on a quick break. Be sure to come back and check us out. Welcome back, you guys. So, Gerard.
Yes.
How long have you been an entrepreneur?
Oh, I've been self-employed, I believe, since 1996.
1996.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like doing me.
Right. And at this point, I'm sure you're convinced that that's what it is.
Absolutely.
Right. You would consider yourself self-made, right?
In every aspect of being made.
Right. That's amazing.
I probably wouldn't know how to function with a 9 to 5. It probably would take me off a key.
Right.
Like, for real.
Right.
Like, how do you do, and it's funny you say that, right? I remember I stepped away from one of my positions, and I was going into this other area, and they said, "Hey, I need can you send me a resume?" I said, "A resume? I haven't had a resume since 1983. like, how do you do that? Like, what should I put on there? Like, then I was like, oh man, like, what do you add to?" And I'm saying, man.
Right.
All right, just put all the businesses you ever been involved in there. I said, man, like, I haven't had me a personal resume.
Right.
And God knows how long. Like,
Right.
how do you do that?
I know the feeling.
It feels strange.
Right.
To even be on an interview, like, going somewhere and say, hey, my name is Gerard Harris. I'm here to apply for this. How do you do that?
You're now used to contracts and proposals.
Yeah. Let me just say this to a lot of viewers. Like, I was just telling them before we came on, is that I don't think in the box. I don't even know how to operate in a box.
Right.
I don't know how to operate outside of the box. My whole concept on what I do, I smash boxes. I don't believe in none of that restrictions. We can have this type of career and you have a cap. You can hit the ceiling. No, man, listen. I really believe, this is my whole thing, and I tell people all the time, if you are living in the United States as an American, you already are an entrepreneur.
Right.
Get you a passport.
America.
Get you a passport. And if you take your passport and use it for what you should use it for, every time you travel, your whole leisure of traveling, I don't care if you're only going if you don't even use the passport, you're just using your regular ID and going locally, you should be going somewhere, seeing how you can operate business.
Right.
I was at a funeral and looked across the street, and they was asking me what I'm doing. I said, you know what I just realized? They was like, what? I said, this little town we in, don't have a Starbucks or a Dunkin' Donuts. And they said, oh, you for real? You at a funeral? I said, I'm looking to see how can I bring a Dunkin' Donuts to this little hick town. They said, are you serious? You at a funeral? Man, listen, my mind don't shut off just because I'm at a funeral.
Right.
Dunkin' Donuts, you talking about start up 50,000. Let's get this. Yeah. Let's get 2 people to get invested. My brain started going like, okay, I need to find me 2 investors. We're going to put a Dunkin' Donuts here, real simple, and take off from there.
All right. And you also were telling us a story earlier about when you went to Spain. Share that with us, with the audience.
But that thing from the coffee too?
No, how you were saying that they live first and work.
Yeah.
I think this is like part of my life, how I live today, because I was exposed, and that's why it's very important for man to travel. I remember being over in Ibiza. We went to Spain, you stopped in Barcelona, went to Madrid and then seen the Bulls and all that. But I went to this little island where you had to fly a plane over to the island. It was called Ibiza. And by being over there, I had went out to try to, go shopping. Like us Americans do. We like to go out during the day and go shopping and see sights. And I noticed everything was closed. I was like, yo, what's going on? They said, no, man, we live first and then we work. I said, oh. No, he made me feel bad. He said, you from America. Y'all work, and then you try to find a way how to live.
Right.
I said, oh.
Right.
Y'all got it. He said, you got it backwards. He said, you was created to live life, and then you work. He said, we enjoy our families. They out, and you look at them, they out on the beach, they enjoying with the kids, they playing Frisbee. No.
Right.
Then when it get dark and the sun start going out, then they open their businesses that the family is involved in. They run a business.
Right.
They live first and then they work.
We're lucky if we get to live.
So, no, in all reality, so I just looked at it like this. I didn't do anything special yesterday to be here today. Mm-hmm. Just be opening my eyes up, I realized this is a gift.
Right.
And this is a gift from, really, people don't really look at it like this. Sleeping is a stage of death. I don't want to get too deep and get too spooky and start scaring people to close their eyes tonight. But when you go to sleep, you're really dead, bro. Period. So if when you wake up in the morning and you given this other gift of life, it is a gift.
Right.
How do you walk in your gift now? Do you drag a 7 set of luggage through your day? Talking about, oh, poor me, I don't know where I'm. No, man, go to life with a zest, man.
Right.
Appreciate life. I don't care if you're only drinking a bottle of water. Appreciate that bottle of water for what it is.
Right. Definitely.
See somebody be like, good morning.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? How you doing?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Live.
Because you're going to get that back.
Right.
You say, hey, good morning. And they be like, hey, good morning.
Yeah.
Now you got some positive back because you gave some positive. And now imagine saying, F you this morning. You fuck you too.
Right. I mean, in today's society, you see so many people walk around with the drowning faces, the,
Sluggish and
and
not happy.
it's very rare you're going to get, hey, good morning, smiling. It's very rare.
I changed that.
Yeah.
When I see people like that, I be like, hey, man.
Yeah.
I ain't do it to you last night. How you doing this morning? They be looking at me all crazy. Like, good morning.
Yeah.
Hey, everything all right?
You got to bring that energy to them.
You better knock it over. I wasn't with you last night now.
Right.
Good morning.
You ain't do it.
Step out of that. Oh, like, I don't want none of that. They be looking like that.
Like that.
Don't bring that here.
Right. And mindset, you guys. Let's talk about mindset for a little bit. Mm-hmm. Because I know as an entrepreneur, it takes mindset, the right, proper mindset to really keep moving forward, to climb that ladder, right? So express to me how you feel. And then you're a life coach, you're a coach as well, right? So,
Yeah. So as far as mindset, what I was sharing with y'all earlier is when you are, preparing to make a decision, whatever it is. For me personally, I feel like your mind has to be there, right? Like where do you want to go? You have a plan. We have brains. We think. We pray, meditate, whatever it is that you do. Figure out what you want to do, and put your mind there. Put yourself there.
right.
First.
Yeah.
Put yourself there first, right? So I said, before I turned 40, I want to be a full-time entrepreneur.
Right.
I don't want to work for anyone after 40. Sooner than later. And so my mind was already there. And the more time that I spent thinking about it, diving into it, figuring out what I need to do or what I would have to do to make it happen, to keep the bills paid, to keep, whatever. I started manifesting that every day. Manifesting is really big. I'm really big on it.
Me too.
Words have power. And so I just started speaking that over my life.
Right.
And the more, I just kind of felt it, you know, and, I just went for it.
That definitely was a game changer for me too. My change of mindset. I actually have a life coach. Shout out to Maximum Results. Winford is my life coach. And he goes by these 4 steps that I live by. And that totally changed my life. Which the first step is to even know what it is that you want in life. A lot of people, in all honesty, if you were to ask them, they can't even answer that question.
Got a clue.
Right?
And some of them have money.
Right.
Money, they don't know what to do with it.
And the second one is to have faith, to know what it is that you want, you can really have. You can really have it. you know? And the most important one, number 3 to me, is what is your plan of action to get it, right? Like, it's not gonna just fall out the sky and fall in your lap, you know? And the plan of action is more than the actual action to get what you need. That revolves around a lot. It revolves around personal development. It revolves around research, doing what you need to do, connecting the dots. Like, it's a lot to it. And the 4th step is being persistent. Like, keep at it, you know? So those 4 steps, I really got into each one, and that totally changed my life for me. What would you say for you?
I believe that everything that you were saying, and as you was hitting those points, I was visualizing myself there. And I remember I used to tell the story that I don't care if you sell rubber bands, if you out there at the same time every day, no matter what, on a consistent basis, you could build a business off of selling rubber bands, and you'd be called the rubber band man. And you could build an empire off of consistency.
Right.
I'm big on that.
Right.
I believe that you have a routine of, like, I believe branding in every aspect, but if you have a routine that you do, you should do it on a continuous basis, because out of that is birth of something. You know, you could birth something from that. I like to, now I was telling you before we came back live, is that I like to do a lot of things behind the scenes. I don't really like to be the man. If you came into what establishment that I had and you asked for an owner or the managers or something, like even like when I had involved in the restaurant or involved in different things, I would point to somebody else, because I don't really think anybody that's a part of what I do, I don't want anybody to ever say you work for me. I want you to say you work with me.
I'm big on that too.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
I am not your boss.
Right.
I have a position to play, just like you do, but I believe you work with me, and we have a team. We have a goal.
Right.
We have a goal that we are reaching. I might just have a little different, more responsibilities than you, and that could shift as time goes. And then you could have this as well, because I believe in reproduction.
Right.
Like, if you can't reproduce yourself, then you're stagnating yourself.
Duplication.
You have to.
Right. And I like to make my teammates feel just as important to the platform or what it is that we have going on, just as I am. You're no different than me. You are here to deliver just as much as I am. You know?
I'm glad we touching on this. For those of you that's live and might know me and might have watched me in Florida for the last 18 years, and you don't see me involved in this business, you see me involved in that business, you see me doing a whole lot of things, I could tell you this much. In the rebranding process, I don't think the hurricane warnings have brought your attention. You know how you get the warnings? There's a hurricane coming, everybody paying attention? That is not even the warning that is about, that is not so much, that is not the effect that is about to take place in 2020.
Right.
Because you know, my dad used to tell me, he's like, if you come through as a quiet storm, nobody has time to prepare until after the storm hits. And then they be like, oh shit, what just happened?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Where did that come from? So, and that's really all in the branding. I mean, you don't have to brand to be loud, and you could brand to be real quiet, but have effectiveness in what you're doing.
Be a whole force out here.
Be effective in what you're doing.
That was actually my next question.
Oh,
is
I'm
like,
sorry.
what's next for you? You know?
What's next for me is I always look for the like-minded people. And I don't really, I don't get into the nationalities and all that other stuff. It's that I am in the process of being involved with like-minded folks, because I believe that this next project that I'm going to venture into is the kicker.
Right. Right.
But I'm not big on me. I'm big on empowerment.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
See, a lot of people say, hey, I want to be rich, get it. No. I really appreciate knowing that I empowered someone.
Right. That's what empowers you.
That's what gives me power. Right. I love seeing somebody get put in position.
All day long.
All day long. I I love that. My next project is that I'm going to empower the ones that you thought couldn't be empowered. The ones that was counted out, them is the ones that you're going to see rise up.
Right. Right.
And I'm going to say this and I'm going to pass on. A lot of people don't understand why Friday nights I sit out on 5th and Atlantic between 10, sometimes 9 and 10 o'clock. And I go buy about 10, sometimes $15 worth of dollar burgers. And I only go out there to feed the homeless. I don't feed them to preach to them. I don't feed them to say, oh, you need to stop doing what you're doing. I go out there so the simple fact for conversation. Because that is somebody's son, daughter, child, or what. And sometimes just conversation is all it takes for them to get redirected.
Right. Yeah. Right. And then
nothing more.
Most, you'd be surprised on how intelligent some of them are.
Very smart.
How much you would learn from them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so for you, yes, milady.
Mm-hmm. What's next for me?
Yeah.
Well, I'm definitely, I'm a distributor for Total Life Changes.
Mm-hmm.
Been in business for about 3.5 years.
So I'm sorry, not to cut you off.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that product while you're on it.
Oh man, good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff. You are a customer.
Yes, I am.
You are a customer. So you have had the detox tea.
Yes.
So of course our number one flagship product is the detox tea. I say if you eat food, you need to detox.
Right.
Okay. Helps with all types of stuff. Weight, skin. A lot of internal healing takes place when you're detoxing the body and eliminating waste, sludge, parasites, all of that. I mean, it's good stuff.
Right.
The company, we have vitamins, we have toothpaste, we have all that other stuff. But my main focus right now is, helping people with any, issues that they may have. And a lot of issues start with mucus in the body. And a lot of people don't realize that, if you have asthma, bronchitis, mucus in the chest, flu, cold, mucus in the stomach, head cold, sinus, allergies, whatever.
Well, Dr. Sebi says every disease is just a mucus, right?
It's just a mucus.
So,
So I feel like if you can eliminate the mucus, you can eliminate a lot of health issues. My children drink it. I haven't had a sick household in years. Thank God.
Right.
And they drink it. My son, before I got here, my son's like, Mom, you have tea? Yes, I absolutely do, son. Go ahead and have your tall glass. But my children, my daughter's 5, my son is 16. They both drink the tea. So consistency. I've been doing this, and actually, this is about 60-70% of my income. This company actually helped me, take that, be able to take that.
Right.
Grateful for it because people are now seeing a need.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Themselves.
Exactly.
Real estate, also. That's,
okay.
That's something else that I'm getting into.
Right.
And whatever.
Okay.
Whatever I get my hands on.
Awesome, you guys. So you guys, just share a little bit before we go. What would you say is the pros and cons that you have experienced on your journey as an entrepreneur?
Criticism, doubting people. I believe it's like they used to say, the doubting folks don't really matter because actually they inspired me. The ones that criticize and the ones that doubt, it gives me,
I consider them part of the formula to success.
I said, so.
That's a pro.
And to not really knock anybody, but until you walked in my shoes, you don't even understand the journey. Because even as I have a lot of people that I associate with from other ethnic backgrounds, but what inspires me the most is being a black man. And I'm coming from up north to south. So when I live up in New York, it's a whole different mentality versus down here.
Right.
Down here, the brothers don't really see like the Jim Crow stuff because they've been living in it. I come from up north and see it, man, oh no. I see it more than they do.
Right.
Because we don't even bark. You can't even bark on that tree with that stuff. Because, my moms used to tell me, like, she used to always say, you don't fight your battles physically. My pen is real more, because this is before laptops was out. She was in the 70s and 60s. She says you always dot your I's and cross your T's. And she was big on education, big on my mother used to have us read like the Wall Street Journal and New York Times, and she used to have to find an article in there to write an essay on. We wasn't allowed to really look at local news, because she said that local news is pollution, it's corruption. So she inspired me to look beyond the normal circumstances. Right. So and that's just how I deal with people today. I deal with people the ones that hate, I appreciate. The ones that don't aspire, I admire. Thank you. Right. And I just I live my life to the fullest. Like somebody was asking me, I was telling you earlier, they was trying to find out what do I do for, what kind of work do I do? I told them I live. Right. My lifestyle, my job is my lifestyle. What I do on a day-to-day basis is my lifestyle. I follow a lifestyle that's so simple, and it's just a few guidelines that you must follow on a day-to-day basis to continue to have success. Right. And I teach people how to have that today. And I'm gonna put it out there to those viewers. I follow a simple program that follows 12 steps, 12 traditions, and 12 spiritual principles, and I apply those in all of my affairs. I'm not perfect. I do fall, but I have a resource to get back up and get in position. And that's the difference.
Yeah. I hope you guys are getting some good, valuable information, you guys, because application, I think, is the hardest part for a lot of individuals. You can listen, you can tune in, but are you actually applying? Are you applying it to see the change, right? And before we move on to Crystal, I just want you to give some feedback, and because I have a big thing for young black men growing up in America who, they say we're less, privileged, but I really believe it's what you make it. We're in America, you know what I mean? And I love to see us overcoming. I love to see us becoming, So can you give them some advice on, what it is that they should stick to? Well, you basically said it all, but just give them your 2 cents on how to keep it to where you can overcome and you can become whatever you desire to be, if you know what that is.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer is that what makes me is knowing me. If you don't know you, then you can't be you. Right. You're gonna always be somebody else. Right. Get to know you, and
don't be scared.
Don't be scared to embrace the fullness of you. And we were saying it earlier, why not to be in a relationship? I'd rather be in a relationship with myself before I could be in a relationship with another person. Right. So if I have me in a relationship, then I have something to offer. Right. I can't give you half of me, the part that I'm just starting to know about, and the other part that I don't know about, I'm dragging that half of me in. That's unbalanced. That's what they call is unequally yoked. Right. I want to be, I told my doc I had to go to do the physical thing today, and he was telling me you're over 50, you got to do. I said, listen, doc, you're not gonna violate me. She started laughing. I said, she said, no, we don't have to do it that way today. I said, I'm not coming in here. You're not gonna be milking no prostrate on me. I said, I'm not doing all that. Then she started asking me about my relationships and stuff like that. I said, to be honest with you, doc, you might look at me kind of strange. I said, you might not have never heard a man that's up in age say, I'm waiting. I'm saving myself. She said, I said, no, I'm not trying to say I'm going to be on some, total, I said, but I believe that if I'm preparing myself for who I need to be, right, then my mate is going to be who she needs to be. Right. And then it'd be a match.
I actually experienced that with myself. And I will tell you, the reason why I did it, I felt like I was constantly running into the same type of relationships, and I found out that's not the type of relationship that I wanted. So, and I'm not gonna lie, when for me in a relationship with a guy, I would be committed. I would do whatever I need to do as my position. But if the guy comes and he's not doing what he needs to do, I would somehow let that rub off on me and take me out of character. And that's not who I really am, right?
Oh, I want to say that, and don't get it twisted. I'm a very friendly person, and I could talk to you, you know. I'm very, sometimes some women probably say I'm very flirtatious and all that. No, I'm very friendly. Don't get it twisted.
Right.
You know, my old lifestyle, like I used to work on a phone. I used to sell stuff on the phone. And I used to make bets in the office how good my talk game was. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Listen, certain people are born with a gift, but don't take your gift and turn it into a curse.
Right.
That's what folks, and that's part of knowing, like getting to know who you are. I know that, you know, one of my gifts is speech. Right. So, because I go into businesses, you know, and I'm going to share this much. I go into people that have businesses operating already, and I could go in there and I could speak certain things that they might not see that they doing. They might think everything's cool, but there's certain things that needs to take place in order for it to be fully functioning. You can either listen or you can't. Or you can think you got it going on. You really don't. You really don't. The best leader is the one that follows. If you're not following somebody, then you're leading someone in the wrong direction.
Always remain a student. But
Always.
To finish what you were saying, my experience and the reason why I did that was like date myself to myself. Is because I felt like I, for myself, needed
had a lot to offer.
The qualities that I'm even looking for in a mate, in me first.
Absolutely.
So when I see it, I know what it is.
I know who it is.
I know who he is.
I know me.
Right. I know me. I'm gonna know me when I see it. But how can I say that? And I'm not even willing to put it in me, right? And
you just touched on something. I remember being married to my wife in New York, right? And they used to, people that didn't even know that was my wife, they met her down, she used to work on Grimmett Street. And they told her that she reminds them of somebody that they know. Because they knew me, but they didn't know that was my wife.
Right.
But her characteristics and her personalities, she was representing me even in my absence.
Exactly.
Same here. Exactly. I could meet people that she knew, and they'd be like, man, you remind me of somebody. You know why I remind you of somebody? Because you see my mate in me that you know.
Right.
And that's where the two become one.
Right.
You can't become that if you're not who you're supposed to be. Right. And that's back to your original question to the brothers. Get to know you.
Right.
The fullness of you.
There's so much beauty.
There's a lot of lies that you was exposed to that ain't true. Yeah. But get to know the real you.
Right. You know? Definitely.
I'm sorry. Oh.
It's good.
And guess what, my brothers? Who gonna introduce you into the real you is your sisters, the ones that you're not treating like your sisters.
Hello.
That's who's gonna introduce you to your real you. Because they're gonna show you a softer and smoother, easier road to take other than the one that you're on now. But you gotta get to know them as a sister. Not as a booty call, or not as a back me up, or not as a thought, or whatever other thing they call, what they other call them. We not.
I don't even want
to. You know, all them other names. Get to know them as your sisters, man, on the real. My mother always used to tell me, she told me this, I was 17. She says, never treat a woman the way you don't want your own sister and mother handled.
Right.
And if you handle them that way, you won't have no problems.
And I would also say
wow.
to the sisters to know how to treat a brother, right? Like, that's important too. You know, I feel like, you know, from history, our history, we're so broken in so many ways, and we're letting it carry on.
Yeah.
Generation to generation to generation. So awareness is a big factor, you guys. I feel like the more we become aware of what's really going on and how we can handle it and change it, it'll make us all better, you know?
Pat on the back, we need good friends we can depend on. Talking about building, I'm talking about brainstorm, stay woke. Gotta have the proper mindset, keep yourself in check, strive for the best. Life is like a game of chess, even if you have a checker pass, gotta have the of courage, don't be afraid to ask. Me on the mission, we complete every task. Let freedom ring, yeah, we free at last. Yeah, we free at last. Let freedom ring, yeah, we free at last. Gotta rise above, gotta spread the love. Gotta build a dynasty, them versus us. Once you take success, it's never enough. Gotta build a winning circle, establish trust.